Good morning. I'm Sudha Dinakar, and I'm a special educationist by profession and also the mother of a beautiful young boy who is multiply challenged. I first want to thank Meenakshi ma'am, Dr. Meenakshi ma'am, and the Nana Arogya channel for giving me an opportunity to express my views and my experiences regarding music and what role it has played in my son's development, and also what I have observed when he is teaching in a special school and what effect it has on other specially challenged children. So firstly, I would talk about music in the sense that all of us know what effect it has, what role it has to play in our day-to-day life. Starting from the infancy stage to what we are today, we all enjoy music. It gives us a calming effect. It's a mood changer, and also it has a deep down unexplainable effect on us. So this is something that we all know. But what I would like to emphasize here is that there are certain things which are non-musical goals, like other than what it affects you and me, there are certain other things happening also when we listen to music. It might be, we can call it some non-musical goals, like it has effect on your cognition, and it has effect on your self-esteem, and it has effect on your confidence, and it also has some deep-rooted effects on us, which maybe not being a neuroscientist, I cannot explain, but I have seen it in the practical scenarios. So I come to you to tell you about what I have seen and experienced, rather than going into the scientific part of it. So I have seen that when my son was, who is a multiple challenge child, when he was a baby itself, he starts responding to any kind of music, though any kind of other kind of oral or gestural instruction did not make any sense to him because he was visually impaired. But he did respond to music, and we start everything that, since he was totally visually impaired, we have used sound as a technique for him, be it for guiding him how to walk, be it for giving him a kind of a non-verbal communication with him. We have used music. So the first time when I saw him very happy, or you could say when I saw that he responded to something, was when he played the mridangam as a small 2-year-old child who could stand and just beat on the mridangam. So here I want to make it clear that when I started with music, I did not have the intention of making him a great musician, or thinking that he's going to learn music, but it was just a form of a communication that was the only form of communication I had with my son. Later on, with God's grace, we met Dr. Meenakshi Ravi, and she was able to guide him, and she was kind enough to take him. He was, let me inform the viewers that he was her first special challenged student, I can say. So when I went to her, she was kind enough to take up the challenge of teaching my son, who could not even speak a few words at that moment of time. And the volume of his voice was very low, and we had to really strain our ears to listen to him. So this is how I went to her. But when she took up the challenge, she was nice enough and graceful enough, though she is a renowned musician. She was ready to teach my child, which I think would have been a daunting task for anyone else. This was, I'm talking about 15 years ago. now if you see my son, he is passed his certificate course in Carnatic music from the Potti Sriramulu Telugu University, and he is a teacher for music in a school here in Bangalore. So you can see the learning graph, how it has been, and how. So the only thing I can say is that though even today, if you ask him, he cannot count. He doesn't have the sense of mathematics, but he sings in Talam. And if you say that he cannot, draw a painting, but if you ask him to do alapana, he'll be able to do it. So that shows it. So it is a form of communication for him, where I get to know what is happening in his mind. So I feel so thrilled to see this. So you can say that then when I have observed later that when he started teaching in the special school that he go in Bangalore, there were quite a few of his students who are totally non-responsive in a traditional classroom setup. That is, they were, if you what you could just brand them as very slow learners, or children who don't respond at all, who don't know anything at all. You just pass them from one class to another, and who are quite old, that is maybe 12 to 13 years old, and still they don't have the basic recognition of the basic concepts. But when Ajay used to teach them, they were the first one who learnt most of the songs very well. So what I want to emphasize here is, when we know that we have a tool like music, which goes beyond our traditional teaching, which can, what can I say, which can access areas in a human being's development which are beyond the traditional, goals. I think we should use it as a method or a tool, you could say, for their rehabilitation. This is happening in a lot of places, and music therapy is not something new that we have come across. But when it comes to music, what I want to speak of is that people have this, what should I say, mindset that classical music, Indian classical, Carnatic music particularly, is a very difficult thing, and it is beyond us. And even a common man, if you ask them, they are not able to, they don't, they find it very daunting. That's what I feel. When you say, okay, I'm a Carnatic classical music singer, it is very, oh God, I cannot understand this music. I am more comfortable with the film music or, something else. So, but what we have seen at the Meera Center of Music that Dr. Meenakshi ma'am runs, and where she is very ably assisted by Rashmi ma'am, that Carnatic classical music also can be taught, and can be taught to these students who are specially challenged, and it has amazing effects. Because like I said, I cannot maybe go into the detailing of how it affects your brain, but I have seen for the last 15 years how it has affected my son, and how it has really made him into a kind of individual he is today. He is a very confident and individual who knows his mind, and who is able to do most of his tasks on his own, and it has given him, it has opened the door for his communication. So that is how we have developed, and later on he developed speech well, and then he started normal speech that you and me talk about, and he started expressing himself well. So we gave him actually a tool through which he could express himself. He knew that we opened the door for him. So classical Carnatic music, through it, be it shlokas, be it bhajans, or be it the regular, kirtanas and gitas and varnams, which he is singing very well now. And now he is on to the alapana also with the guidance of Dr. Meenakshi Ravi. when he does that, it is the growth graph, if you see, and I don't have any other, I don't see any other reason except that I exposed him to classical music on a one-to-one basis, and that helped him to open up like this. And it is not a case of only Ajay, only my own son, but also with lot of special students that I have come across in my teaching career, that I have seen who respond very well to these shlokas, these bhajans and these geetams. And I think, we have this mindset that maybe it will be too difficult, but just raise the bar and train the child, and you'll see, how effective it is, how wonderfully they adapt to these, these what I call musical items. And like for an example, Ajay, my son, he teaches in Raunmashi, and we have a motley set of students who are something which is called a bridge class. Bridge class is when when the child knows very late about the education, and they come from rural areas, and they're put into something called a bridge section, because they're also already about 12 or 13 and they have not gone into regular schooling. So that kind of students also, when they sit in his class, they respond so well, and they are able to learn most of the items, classical music, Carnatic musical items that we try to tell them. And of course they love the bhajans, they love the shlokas and the bhavagites that we teach him. Bhavagite, for those who don't know Kannada, is about nature, and those songs, they love those. And one more thing I want to add here is that our experience with teaching these especially children, is that we take it for granted, okay, these people cannot understand what it means, but just try it. Just try explaining what you are singing in the song to them, and how well they connect to it. Even if it is a small, we actually use the method where, suppose there is a song about Shiva, then we tell them the story about the Shiva as an accompaniment, so that they can relate to it better. Same thing happens with any song about Rama. When we explain all that in the whatever is there in the meaning of all the lines, and then you should see the interest that is aroused in them when we talk about the Ramayana, when we talk about the stories that are attached to it. So for them, this learning of one song becomes a whole experience in which they learn, they can learn stories, they can learn communication, they learn about what is happening outside. So this is how we relate, how we present the song to them. So by teaching one song, you can achieve so many goals, and the child is very comfortable. The only thing here I feel is that we should not be judgmental that how technically correct they are, but you just give them a chance and see how well they bloom under this kind of instruction of Carnatic classical music. All of us know, I think those who are aware of the shlokas and the Vedas and the other things that we have in our Hinduism, where every Veda chant, or every even Lalita Sahasranama or Vishnu Sahasranama or any of the Saundarya Lahari, any of these, they are all dealing with vibrations. When we are making a sound, we are making a vibration, and that also is a very effective tool, I feel, to reach to these children's mind, to these children's soul, and to be able to help them turn it into in a positive manner. In a positive way, we can use these tools that we have, which God has granted us, for the benefit of these students. And when I say, people might say that what is therapy? Therapy is a very daunting kind of a word, that I should go for therapy only when I'm sick. Okay, so but if you say that music is a tool, you can say an intervention tool which can be used along with your other interventions like say occupational therapy or speech therapy, I feel it has not got the place it deserves in intervention of or rehabilitation of any kind of problems people might face, be it mental illnesses or especially challenged children, or for any other medical issues like cancer care. All these, I think, we are not using it to the extent it has to be used, knowing that it has got such a beautiful effect on people and how it can be used. That is where I feel that more attention has to be paid, and we should have more people who are music therapists and trained music therapists, and people who have, sometimes it happens that we are so lost in the research that I think the way forward is we just start using it and see the effects, because not everything can be explained in numbers and statistics. When we know that the music has, and particularly Carnatic music has, so much of effect on a human being, why it should not be used as a therapy tool or as a tool, as an intervention tool for differently abled and in medical setups. I think that is what is the need of the hour. And coming to the differently challenged, labeling is something that we all, we don't like, and it is not right also. So I won't like to call, that there are, so it helps in intervention definitely. But I think I would call them specially challenged. You have, since being a special educator, I can go on about the kinds of, different labeled children we have, like autism, hearing impaired, visual impaired, and there is a special category which is called MDVI, that is multiple disabled with visual impairment, which my child is. That is, you have more than one issues to deal with, more than one challenges to deal with, and these kind of, and usually it is the most neglected area in the special education also, because people are still coping with a single disability, like a VI or an HI or a orthopedic handicap or a cerebral palsy. So when you come to multiple disabled, which is a very, very small category, and you have a typical it has to be a one-to-one basis intervention for them. For such students particularly, I feel music is the best tool which we have been underused to help them and to become individuals that they are capable of becoming. And of course, for me, I've seen many students in the Meera School of Music who have come out of their challenges and have become, now, of course, since it is 15 years, we are seeing them as young adults who are full of life and full of confidence, and who, some of them have become music teachers, like my son, which is not at all a necessity. Your child need not, you cannot, the aim cannot be just that, he is going to become music teacher. But music has to be an important part for their lives in trying to improve their other areas of daily living. And like I said, like the example I said was that let's start with how it has an effect on the different regions, on the different aspects of a challenged child. Like suppose you say rhythm, and all of you, we know that rhythm is we are in rhythm with nature in some form or other, including a heartbeat, a walking, everything. So introducing rhythm to the child at an early age, and introducing, you should see the way they enjoy it, because it's a non-threatening, non-judgmental kind of intervention that we do. That is, like suppose you are teaching him something, say about 1, 2, 3, and you expect, the child knows that you expect him to count properly later on. But when you do the same thing using rhythm, the same goal of teaching maths, that is teaching counting, or teaching, more, less, fast, slow, and so all these can be achieved by teaching him this through rhythm. We can use rhythm therapy for, you cannot call it, let's not call it therapy. We can introduce this through the form of rhythm for them, and that we can do it along with the other. When you're making, for special children, we make something called an IEP, which is the, it's a education program that we make for them, short-term and long-term goals we have in that. So we can keep that in mind and also use music as a tool, one of the tools, for introducing that number work for him. And then second thing, let us go to the, confidence levels. When we talk about, we all want our children to become very confident. So when he starts singing, he gains and you appreciate it, and it is easy to learn. You teach him small songs, small shlokas, which he repeats, and it is a less stressful thing for him to learn that than maybe a story. And then, when he says it and when you appreciate it, even I'm talking about early intervention here. So when you do that, the child feels very confident, and that you're adding to it. So it is a music. When you're teaching him through music, you're increasing his self-confidence in a subtle way. Okay. And then when you're coming to, say, vocalization, we know that most of the students, they have some problem with their vocalization. They might, like my own child, the volume was very low, and you had to really strain your ears to listen to him. So when it is like that, and when you tell it in a rhythmic form, it has a kind of a, he can pronounce better, and it stimulates his speaking skills, and then he is able to articulate better. And even the sounds of a, e, u, which we do in the beginning, or the sa, pa, sa, and all that it helps him to really vocalize. And in a what should I say, like what I said, I always feel it's we are only facilitating the act of speaking, or clarity in speech, in a non-interventional way, in a non-threatening way to him. So music is a very non-threatening kind of intervention which we can use for these students. And then we have, when we are teaching music, and we are telling small stories regarding that particular with the meaning to those children. When we're talking, there are so many Bhagavad about trees, they're about birds, they're about nature, and when you tell them, and as and when you're teaching them the song, I think it just gets into them, and they really start feeling it, whatever may be their challenges. So all these things, I feel, and when I think different ragas, all of have different effects on people. Different beats have different effects on us. And when we are in a particular mood, we listen to something else, and when we want to be happy or upbeat, we listen to something else. So any song that comes on the radio, even if you're traveling, it just might set your mood. Suppose you are really off in the mood in the traffic, and some nice music comes and your mood changes. So same thing can be used. It helps in calming down these students. It helps in, once they are calm, they can do whatever we want them to in a better manner. So, and their attention increases. Like, if you sit and lecture to a child, or start teaching him to a differently challenged child, I don't think he'll have that much of interest, rather than if you're going to, just sing along with him and just have fun, and, then I think his attention span might be increased in a graded level, in a graded way as we go along. So this is what I feel. So this is what I feel about music, in the sense that we have a potent thing in our hands in the form of Carnatic classical music, which has been underused for the different benefits it can give to different students who are special, And people like you and me, and also to people who need kind of rehabilitation, be it in the medical setup or in the school setup or in the special school setup. So I think it's time that we realize that the benefits of Carnatic musical music and how it can be used as a tool, particularly for these challenged students, and particularly for students whom we think, like the MDVI, like I said, that multiple disabled children whom any other intervention might not be that beneficial, but I'm sure we can attain the goals that we want them to through the music. So thank you very much, and hope it is of some kind of, this information is useful to you in some way for people who are pursuing this music therapy. Thank you.